So we want to tell you about our weekly review process, something we do mostly on Sundays. It's called the weekly review, rejoice, release and recreation process because we review the week, we rejoice in the sense that we get to enjoy our achievements. We release, we complete, if something wasn't as good as we wanted, we think about how we'd like to do it better next time or carrying it forward, and then we recreate based on the review. Okay, so we want to take you through the layout of what we use for our weekly review process. Vicky's questions and my questions are different because we customize them to focus in on what we are heading towards. And so I want to show you my list, but before I do that, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So just to simplify it, there's basically, as the title says, there is a review, a celebration of that review, and then the release, which is kind of unpacking a few questions about that allow me to complete and get the most out of those experiences that I've had. And then it's basically from then on moving forward what my actions are. The questions that I ask myself are not yes, no questions. They're designed to make me feel good because I want to look forward to this every week, and I do. I think we both do. So the questions are, here they are. So if you want to just pause that and hang on, getting a bit of reflection there. There we go, I think. There we go. There are my basic questions. So we've got the review, celebrate. So celebrate just is where I pick out all the juicy bits of the week and I say I celebrate this and that, and I loved what happened here, and the reason I loved it is because of this. And it's a conversation. So this is something to be done with a partner, ideally. It helps Vicky and I align.
It's a way that we can get into each other's worlds.
Yeah. But if you don't have an intimate partner, you can get a friend, a business partner, anyone, a buddy. Exactly. So celebrate, grief and praise. That's just that means gifts and challenges. It's another reference to that. And then I just put these a little aside because they're kind of more my specialty questions. One's called aliveness, insight, and that's just something I get a kick out of what really did I learn this week? What was the big takeaway for this week? And success in service, that was just questions come and go in the review. And that was just one where I wanted to remind myself and get a sense and to build the sense that I'm working with others. So success in service is being successful in service or having service gifted to me. So it's basically anything where I collaborated with others, or and then the actions. It's what am I doing next week, or from here on. And recently we've broken that down into a few things because integrity upgrade. That's just the projects that we've had ongoing, and it's a way of picking up those loose ends and going, hang on, I didn't finish that. I've got all these jobs unfinished. So that's that one. Pathways to Forge, that's just things that I'm really working on developing right now. And then bold actions, that's a fairly new one. That's basically one or two key actions that are going to make this week extraordinary because I've pushed into a discomfort, but it's something that's another name for it was potent bold action, because if I do that one action, it's going to be worth 10 other actions if I just do that one action. So it's a really good question to ask. What is that one thing that I'm avoiding because it's challenging, but if I do it, I'm going to feel amazing. And since I've been doing that, I almost can't bear not doing it, because the difference of how good I feel from doing that one action compared to doing a list of 20 things, that's the goal. Then we go on to the next week, and just this is mapping it out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on, which is really important, because when Vicky and I go through the week, we might go, you've got a dentist appointment and I've got a job interview,
and
we've got one car. What are we going to do? And this is so important in relationship, because this preempts any because a lot of arguments happen over money and sharing resources, because a moment of urgency comes up when I've got to use the car. Sorry, love, I'm taking it, and you this and that. That can all be avoided with this simple forecast. And then upon seeing the forecast and looking at, here's all the things that I'm up to this week, I create an essence, which is where I synthesize all those actions into a sort of a feeling. How will I best approach the week, with what attitude? So that's that one. So Vicky's going to talk about hers now, which is slightly different, but basically the same.
So these are my questions, just a little simpler. We both start with celebrating, what we've achieved, and it just helps us to remind us to stay in gratitude as well of how much we do. Challenge of the week. So that's looking at the things that have challenged me throughout the week, and that usually goes straight into the next question, which is the gift question. What's the gift of the week? So what have I learned? What have I learned from these things that are challenging me? And sometimes I don't have an answer for that. I have to go on. I'm still in it, whatever's going on. But that's okay. The next question is integrity upgrade. So that's from the review. I look and see, well, have I actually been doing what I've been wanting to do, or saying that I'm going to do? So that's just a way of really flagging things that are important, or prioritising what's important and things drop away too. The next is my heart actions. So that's really important for me to balance those things that need to be done. It's so easy for the things that bring joy to me to drop to the bottom of the list. So it's important just to keep them in the conversation, to keep them in my mind. And the next question, I go to the essence, which, as Murray just explained, is very similar. It's what I bring through, what I want to bring through in the week ahead. And so I like to, I already have a diary. Can I just grab that, mate? So I have a diary. You can see my diary. But I also have a journal, which I often do drawings and things. That's actually a picture of last week's review. There you go. And we also, something Murray didn't mention, but we also do our finances. I think that's really important, because that's not just the money in, the money out, but it's also like our energy audit. Where's our energy going? What's coming in? What's going out? Are we out of balance? And I just feel really good that we're very transparent about that. I used to dread that, but now I feel like it's just a really important part of. We're working on something together. We have an enterprise that we both share, our food enterprise. So it's a wonderful thing to cultivate and build. I think that's me.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about a few of the benefits that we've received from doing this practice. We've been doing it now for 14 years. I know that because Vicky was pregnant with Grace, and she's now 13, and so we started it, not quite a year before, but because we did the Steiner teacher training, and one of the things that they really drilled into us was that rhythm is so important for young children. And the question arose for me, how am I going to bring rhythm to our young child when I have no rhythm in my life? So I wanted to create this rhythmic process as a foundation for all the other rhythms in my life. And rhythms are so important because I liken it to trying to catch a wave body surfing when the wave isn't here yet. So you can paddle like hell for no benefit, or you can miss the wave and paddle like hell after it's gone for no benefit. But if you time it perfectly, that's when you access the power that's loaned to you and you get to utilize it. So that's why rhythms are so important in
See
one
that
sense for
timeliness.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the other benefits, I think, in this day and age, the biggest issue facing probably the West is that more is better, more, and I think it's simply because we don't take time to look back, reflect on, and digest the experiences that we've had.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of a movie, like how amazing can a movie be when you think that it's this? First of all, you got the story, then you got the actors, then you've got the how it was all put together and the soundtrack, and there's so much that you can look into in a single movie, and yet with Netflix these days, you just watch one and then the other, and it's like snack food. You're never really
Fully
deeply
digest.
digesting anything. So the thing that I've found is we don't need to do as much to feel satisfied. And the other thing is that when we don't review, I believe, we forget. Well, I definitely forget what I've done during the week, and what I always experience during the week when we do our review is this sense of wow, that was a big week. We did a lot. We achieved a lot, and because we celebrate it, we feel really good about it. So we get to have twice the value at least from one event. You go to a party, you have fun, and then you get to talk about it again a week later. And what were the conversations that stuck with you, and what did you take away? What would you like the next social experience to be like? What social gatherings could we hold that are more aligned to what we like? And it goes on like that. So it's the antidote to more, and that affects finances too. I just mentioned that because it's a segue. Vicky did mention the financial review. I forgot to mention that it is, in effect, it's expenditure and income. It's more than that, but and we keep all our receipts. If they're not on the
We're
bank
taking
balance,
stock.
we're taking the receipts every time we buy anything, a pack of chips, anything. And the benefit that I got was through no intention of this happening, I just stopped. When you walk into the service station, you pay for the petrol, and you're like, "Oh, I'll grab a pack of chips as well," and you and and I would get this little kind of hit of like a little reward. But when I started to take stock of that, it just sort of, I guess, in hindsight, I kind of go, well, I didn't really feel that good after the chips, and it turns out I did that 4 or 5 or 6, 7 times this week. Coffees, da da da, and I spent $100, and did I feel that I got value from that? And no, not really. It was just like,
It's not really true nourishment, and
yeah,
that's what I believe. The gold of this practice for me is I feel like we're creating a really nourishing, truly nourishing rhythm, and um, I believe it's so important that we're actually our cultivating our relationship. We're building something consciously and choosing to, and that's such a joyful thing to me.
yes, and then the last benefit that I can think of right now is staying on task. Um, you know,
Being
I guess
accountable.
before this, I might be doing a job, and after 3 months, 6 months, a year, I'll be like, what am I doing this for? Like, and I've forgotten because I haven't revisited that motivation, and then not only looked for it but actually generated it. Why am I here? Like, because really there's no answer to that, I don't think, other than what you generate in yourself, and it changes from week to week. You might think you're doing something for the good of the planet, and then one day you might just say, what the hell's that mean? And you have to dig deeper again and find out what the new motivation is. But because rhythmically we're doing that, these are minor alignments, to stay on track, rather than these crises that can happen when you're in a job 5 years down the track and can't remember why you wanted to do it in the first place.
Mm.
So there's minor adjustments. That's the rhythmic practice. I think that's about it. So thanks for listening. If you got this far, we hope this benefits you, this practice of reviewing, and all the best. Good luck.
And if this does appeal to you, it's definitely something that you can tailor to your own needs, with your own questions, and be a little bit playful and experimental, and enjoy.
Yeah, keep it fun.
Yeah.